Imagine facing an earthquake and no way to connect with your family. What would you do? Have you ever thought it through? I'm Jackie Kloosterboer, and I have been teaching people earthquake preparedness for over 20 years. I want to share a short presentation with you on how to connect with our family after an earthquake. Our families are always going to be our number one concern, and the more we do today before being faced with a disaster, the better we're going to get through when the big one happens. Family is always going to be our number one concern. Where are they? How are they? Have they even survived the earthquake? These questions are going to be racing through your mind until you make contact with your family. But how will you make contact? We know our cell phones are going to be down after an earthquake. Our stores are going to be closed. Our 911 operators are going to be overwhelmed and won't be responding to every call they receive. Our roads, our bridges will be impacted, maybe even damaged, making it impossible for you to get home. Have you thought this through? What if your kids are home alone and you're not able to get home? Roads and bridges are closed, transit's not operating. What if? What if you can't get to your kids' school to pick them up? How are your kids going to survive at school? What are they going to do? These are things we need to plan before facing an earthquake. One of the basic steps in connecting with your family is to identify a family meeting location at your home. If you had to evacuate your home, maybe the earthquake has caused a fire, or maybe not even an earthquake, maybe you just had a fire. But if you go out one door and your husband and wife, your kids go out another door, where are you going to meet up? How are you going to know everybody has made it out safely? I've responded over the years to hundreds of house and apartment fires, and I see mom in one area, dad in the other, and the sheer panic of not knowing if your family has made it out safely. If you simply identify a family meeting place, you and your family can meet up much quicker. You also need to think about where you work. If you and your family work in the same area, have a family meeting location near your work. We know cell phones may not be working, so if you have this in place, you're going to be able to connect with your family much quicker than by trying to figure out where they are in the downtown area. So have a family meeting place at home, and if it makes sense for your family, have one in your work area. An out-of-area contact. This is another way that you can connect with your family if cell phones are not working. If you have a hardwired phone that comes into your house, that would be the line you use to make a long-distance call. You contact someone outside of the province, a friend or relative, and they are your out-of-area contact. In my situation, I have a cousin Phil who lives in Edmonton. He is my family's out-of-area contact. And when something happens and we're not able to connect using cell phones, we're going to phone cousin Phil. When I call in, I can get an update on my kids to find out how they are if they have already called in. This does work. Prior to the Olympics in Vancouver in 2010, I had a lady from Christchurch sitting in my office. And we're going through this slide, and she said, "Jackie, will you be my family's out-of-area contact?" I looked at her and said, "Carol, I would be happy to." We exchanged information. Carol went back to Christchurch. Several months later, I was sitting at home one night and my phone rang. I picked up the phone, and on the other end, I heard a faint voice. "Jackie? Is this Jackie?" "Yes, it is. Who's calling?" "It's Carol's daughter, Susan. You're our out-of-area contact, and we've had a massive earthquake, and I can't find my mom. I don't know if she's survived it. I don't know if she's injured. I just don't know. I can't get a hold of her." You could hear the panic and fear in her voice, and I jotted the information down. My heart was racing, and I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do next. And I hung up and I immediately called Carol. Nothing. The phone did not work. But I kept at it, and after several attempts, Carol picked up her phone. What a relief. I said, Carol, it's Jackie in Vancouver. I've talked to Susan. Your family is okay. How are you? You could hear in Carol's voice the worry and the fear. Like her daughter, she did not know how her family was doing until they talked to me in Vancouver. Now, who would have thought a call through Vancouver would have connected a family in Christchurch? This does work, but it's only going to work if you've got it in place prior to the disaster. Social media is another valuable tool to have as an option to connect with your family. Identify what works for your family. If some family members don't use Facebook, well, that might not be the best choice for you. So sit down with your family and have these conversations. Schools and daycares, for those of you that have kids at school, at daycare, find out what the daycare's plans are. How long can they keep your kids? What are the schools going to do with your kids if you don't show up? Have a friend or family member that you trust be able to pick your kids up in the event that you're unable to. We have to develop a lot of options in order to connect with our family. And the more options we have, the better our chances of connecting. So what are your next steps? You've got to take action. You've got to get your plans in place, and the time to do it is now. Once you're facing the earthquake, it's going to be too late. Survive It can definitely help you with all of this. Visit my website, and I've got some sheets that you can print out that's going to help you. You can book a Survive It workshop where we'll come on site and help you, your family, and pets get prepared, or teach your business, your staff, what they could do to be prepared for an earthquake. My Earthquake Preparedness Guide will cover all of the steps for getting prepared, and how to connect with your family is a little more in depth to what we've talked about today. I encourage all of you to take the steps now. Get you, your family, and pets prepared. Do it before the earthquake, and when facing an earthquake, you will get through it much better. Until next time, stay safe, be prepared.